What's up, Multifarious? Dragon here, bringing you the next episode for Speed Breakdown here in Kirby Superstar. More specifically, Dynablade. So in the spirit of keeping these runs fairly short, I've only decided to show one of the 7 games from Kirby Superstar, which I've already mentioned is Dynablade. Now then, before I get into the game, it might be worth noting that this is an any % run. Yes, Dynablade does have its own 100% qualification, which is to unlock the bonus levels. There are 2 of them, and I'll make sure to point out where those are in the video somewhere. One final thing about this run is that it's a no mixer run. This means that I can't suck up 2 enemies with powers that I can use at the same time. Doing this would give me the chance to get any power I want, so long as I can time pressing the button, so I could get the most overpowered power up in the game, Jet, and just completely blow this game apart. Anyway, we can finally get into the actual run. So, Dynablade is a 5-stage game in Kirby Superstar that is relatively easy to get into both as a casual player and a speedrunner. Kirby games kind of have this quality of being a good speed game while having a generally easygoing playthrough for those who are new. The levels are fairly linear with very little deviation from the route you're supposed to go on. Even getting the bonus levels for 100% in Dynablade doesn't take you away from the path you're already going on. So, I don't feel that Dynablade has the depth to really take up this entire episode, so instead I'll be giving some brief synopsis on the 7 games that you can find in a full Kirby Superstar run. And starting off, we have Spring Breeze, which this game follows how Kirby Dreamland was. 4 stages where you fight the original 4 bosses, Wispy Woods, Lolo and Lala, Kracko, and King Dedede. If you've ever played Kirby's Dreamland, you've played this game. So it's very simple, only takes a few attempts to understand how things work. Pretty simple. I already went over Dynablade, but to refresh, it's 5 stages, 2 bonus rooms for 100%, and that's really about it. No real special qualities, I guess. Following that, we have Gourmet Race, and as the name implies, you will be racing. King Dedede, that is. In a point A to B sprint with food to collect all along the way. So, yeah. The food's just sort of there to collect, and you can pretty much complete the game by just winning the races. But, yeah. Gourmet Race. And finally, the last game from the first 4 you can pick, the Great Cave Offensive. Now, you could take this as another Dynablade. The game's pretty short, roughly 7 minutes to complete if you're speedrunning it. It doesn't take that long. But this game has a clearly defined 100% run. You have to collect all the treasures in the game. I don't remember how many, but you have to collect all of them. And this makes the run considerably longer. I think about 4 times as long. This makes the game, of course, considerably longer in the fact that you have to stray from the path of the 7-minute run, because those will be just going from boss to boss. And instead, you're going from room to room looking for treasure chests to find any items you might have missed along the way. The difficulty for this game is definitely higher than the other 3, and I guess the fact that if you're going to go for 100% would make it even harder. But it's still sort of there. It's still a Kirby game, so it's still pretty easy. Finally, we can get into the games later on in the run. Revenge of Meta Knight, the first game that you will unlock from completing the previous games. Think of this as Dynablade, except harder. This game sort of tries to take the difficulty curve and starts to ramp it up, I guess. But it's not that difficult that you'll be spending, hours on the game trying to complete it. It's still fairly short. It does, like I said, it is a bit more difficult, but the game is still linear. it goes back to the linearness of Dynablade. It's not too hard, not too straight from the path kind of deal, but it's still there. It's still Kirby. So, yeah. Next on the unlocked games list is Galaxy Wishes, which is the most non-linear game, I would assume, that strips you of your ability to inhale enemies and absorb their power. Instead, it makes you go from planet to planet, scavenging for trophies that permanently unlock powers, much like in Mega Man when you beat a boss and you get their power. Yeah, sort of like that. These powers are selectable at any point, so it can make the route for this very diverse, or you could just, pick the one that everyone else does, grab a wheel, grab a jet, or just go grab your favorite power-up, then go to the other worlds. Now, this of course means that there is a 100% qualification, which is to gather all the trophies. I'm pretty sure that you have to go to every planet to do this. I don't think there's any planets you can really skip. I think the story even calls for you to go all the planets. I can't remember. I haven't played it in forever. It's definitely the most difficult of the games because the difference between the planets and the availability of your power-up is very apparent. And the bosses in this game, well, the final bosses of this game don't really take it easy on you. So that's it for the main 6 games, but there's still one left. And our final game is the Arena. This is, if you've played Super Smash Bros., this is All-Star mode. This is Boss Rush mode. This is kill the thing, that's it. There is no adventure, there is no levels, there is only boss fights. I think you fight every boss in the game, and then you fight the final boss of Galaxy Wishes at the end. It's pretty much All-Star mode. You get a couple of health refills, and that's it. So, yeah. Those are the 7 games for a full Kirby Superstar run. I mean, it's not a hard game to pick up. Kirby games are fairly easy if you've ever played one before. Just a few final things to note. First off, you can pretty much make any kind of run you want from this game, whether it's just a single game or various multi-game runs, it's all up to you. It's, like I've said before, Kirby Superstar isn't a hard game to speedrun, although once you start getting into it, and once you start getting your times down, the learning curve becomes extremely steep. From doing mixer runs and perfectly timing to get this certain power up, and then using that certain power up to use that to go fast and kill bosses in one shot, it can get extremely difficult for a speedrun. But that's about all I have to say on that. I've already given some brief summaries on the games, giving you the 100% qualifications. The run's pretty much at the end. So I'd like to go ahead and, I guess, thank Multifarious once again for hosting this video. And I hope you all enjoyed this breakdown of Kirby Superstar. As always, if you did enjoy the video, feel free to leave it a like and a comment down below, especially if I didn't explain something well enough. I know I didn't really go in depth with any one game, but Kirby Superstar is fairly simple, and I just feel like this is a good enough summary of the entire game. Anyway, if you do want to see more of this, like, comment down below, and join me next week as we go over another game on Speed Breakdown. But until then, I'll talk to you all later. Peace!